Hey there, my name is Krystal Everdeen, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this simple bikini top with a tan detailing. For this project I'm using some scrap yarn from some of my other projects, but the white yarn is originally from the brand Impeccable and it is size 4, 100% acrylic, and the tan yarn is also size 4 from the brand Red Heart, also 100% acrylic, and I'm using a size 5mm hook. The very first thing I'm going to do for this project is grab my white yarn and then create a slip knot and chain a chain that is long enough to cover from the bottom of my breast to the middle. Now if you are a beginner to crochet, I actually have a crochet for beginners video that I will link in the description box below so you can practice with that for a bit and then come back to this video. So because I have rather small breasts, I only needed to chain 10 chains in order to make this long enough to cover from the bottom of my breast to the middle of my breast. But if you have larger breasts, then you may need to chain more, or if you have smaller ones, then you may need to chain less. But again, as many chains as you need in order to cover from the bottom of your breast to the middle of your breast. And after you've created that chain, you're going to go back on it with a single crochet. And a single crochet is through the stitch, yarn over, back through the stitch, yarn over, and back through the last 2 loops. And once you single crocheted your way all the way to the end of that row, then your project should look something like this. And from here, you're going to chain 1, then flip the project over. Make sure that you go into the very first stitch of the new row. And after you have done that, you're just going to continue single crocheting all the way to the end of this row. However, once you reach the end of this row, you're going to do something a little bit different than pretty much any other crochet project that you've done, if you've never made a crochet triangle or a crochet cup before. So once you reach the end of the row, normally you would chain 1, flip the project over, and then continue on to the next row, right? In a horizontal fashion. Well, now you're actually going to flip the project vertically and now work on the project like this, which may be strange at first, but once you get the hang of the pattern we're going to be doing, it's going to make a lot more sense. So from here, you're actually going to find the middle stitch, which is about right here, and you're going to place your hook through it and create 3 single crochets inside of that 1 stitch. So this is 2 single crochets and single crochet number 3, again inside of the same exact stitch right there in the middle of the project. So from here, you're going to single crochet your way down the other side of the project. And then once you reach the bottom, you're going to crochet your way back up to this point, and then down, and then back up, and then down, and then back up, and then down, over and over again, and that's basically the entire project. And if that went a little bit too fast for you, I actually have a beginner-friendly tutorial on how to make a crochet cup, which goes in much greater detail, is slow and clear, and again beginner friendly. So once you reach the bottom, you're going to again chain 1, flip the project over, and then make sure that you go inside the very first stitch of the next row. There are so many comments that I receive from people asking me why their cup is curving at the bottom, and I am sure that 99.9% of the time it's because they have either not chained 1 at the end of each row, or they have not gone into the very first stitch of the next row, and that's why their cup is curving and not staying straight. So if you run into that issue, then that may be the reason why. And if that's not the reason why, then I honestly do not know. I would need to physically be there to see what's going on. So anyway, once you reach the top of the project again, and you reach this point, you're going to find the middle stitch again and create 3 single crochets inside of that middle stitch, and there will always be a middle stitch because again you are crocheting 3 single crochets, which is an odd number, so there is going to be a middle stitch. And once you've found that middle stitch, you're going to create 3 single crochets inside of it, then single crochet right back down, then up, then down, and up, and down, and up, over and over again until you've created as many rows as you need to put the project against yourself and be fully covered. Again, my breasts are rather small, so I didn't really need to make this that big, but if you have larger breasts than me, then your project is going to look different than mine. It's going to be much larger. So once you have completed your first cup, you're going to cut the yarn from the yarn ball and then do the exact same thing all over again to create your second cup. And after you've created your second cup, then we're going to attach them and add the colored detail. In my case, it's going to be tan. So the first thing we're going to do is attach both of the cups together, and the way that I do this is by placing my hook through the stitches that I want the crochet cups to be attached to. So I put my hook through one end of the cup and then my hook through the other end of the other cup, and then I just slip stitch my way through both of them, and now they're nice and attached. So from here I'm going to grab my colored yarn, which is again my tan yarn, and I'm going to attach it to one side of one of the cups. And this is how I normally attach a new color, like so. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can just tie a knot and then make a loop from it from there, or you can rewatch what I just did and then copy what I do. So from here I'm going to actually use a double crochet for this pattern. I wanted to change it up a bit instead of doing all single crochet, and a double crochet is yarn over through the stitch, yarn over, back through a stitch, yarn over through 2 loops, and yarn over through the last 2 loops. And I'm just going to create these double crochets all throughout the outline of both of the cups. So I'm going to work my way up the cup with my double crochets using my tan yarn, and once I reach the very top of the cup, which is the point where you normally make the 3 single crochets, I'm actually going to create a strap. Now it may look confusing because I messed up here, where the first time I did this I actually did not create the strap, and then I went back and made the strap. So if you see some inconsistencies, that's what happened. So from here again, I'm at the very top of the cup. So I'm going to make a very long chain of about 150 chains, because this chain is going to serve as not only my neck strap, but it's also going to cross over my back and then tie at the back, so it has to be really long. That's why my chain is 150 chains. Your chain may need to be longer or shorter, totally up to you. Just make sure that it is long enough to actually cross your back and then tie at the bottom. So after I've made that really long chain, I go back on that chain with a slip stitch, and then once I am back at the cup, then I just continue with double crocheting down the bottom of the cup to the middle and across to the second cup. And then I do the exact same thing on the other side. I simply double crochet my way up the cup, and then once I'm at the point, I'm going to create another strap of again 150 chains, so it's even on both sides. And once I have done that, then it would be time to work on the bottom portion of the project. So again, this is the time I didn't add the straps, and that's why there's no straps on there, even though you just saw me crochet straps. But just pretend that they're there right now, and let's move on to the next step. And the next step is to create a base so that you can actually attach your straps to it. So from one of the sides of one of the cups, you're going to chain a chain that is long enough to wrap around your side. essentially it needs to wrap around from your side to the middle of one side of your back, basically the middle point of your side and your spine. You do not want to make this long enough to wrap around you and then touch your spine, because that's too long. And yeah, that's really the best description I could give you. For me, I just chained 15, so hopefully that helps you out in determining how many chains you need to chain. Yeah, make sure it does not reach all the way to your spine. That's the best advice I can give you. And once you have done that, you're going to slip stitch your way back across that chain that you just created, and then also slip stitch your way across the bottom of both of the crochet cups until you reach the other side. And once you reach the other side, you're going to chain as many chains as you did for the first side. So again, I'm going to chain 15, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go back on that chain with a single crochet, and I'm going to go back across the entire bottom of the project with a single crochet as well until I reach the other side. So all the way across to the other side, I'm going to be doing a single crochet. And once I have gone across the entirety of the project, then I am essentially done with the project, because I would have already been done with the straps, even though in this footage right here I do not have the straps, but you would have already made the straps, so you would already be done. So from here you would grab your straps and lace them up so that you have that crisscross design in the back. So again, if you forgot to make the straps, you could always just attach the yarn from here and then chain a chain of 150 or more, and then go back on that chain with a slip stitch, and then just attach the yarn to the other side and do the exact same thing. Or you can actually make the straps when I said to make the straps in the first place, and then you won't have to worry about that. So once you're done with the straps, you're going to grab one strap and reach it across to the opposite side, and then attach it to that bottom portion that you created just now. And then from here, you're going to grab the opposite strap and then bring it over to the opposite side, and then attach it to the bottom portion of the top that you just created. And once both straps are attached, then you are done with the project, and all you need to do is cut any yarn that you have not cut from the yarn ball off. Mine's like a mess because I haven't cut anything yet, but yeah, once you cut everything, then you are completely done with the top, and all that's left to do is try it on and style it and rock it. Woohoo! Alrighty then, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I actually was motivated to make this tutorial because I just came out with a bikini bottom tutorial, so I thought might as well make a matching bikini top for this bikini bottom tutorial, so I did. So if you're interested in learning how to make a bikini bottom that goes along with this bikini top, then I will leave the link to that video in the description box below. And if you're interested in watching more crochet tutorials, I have a ton of them, so please check out my channel for more crochet. And if you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, entertaining, or helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and also click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye!